listening to those live streaming, you're in the right place at the right time. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting a message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. Put your hands together if you know that you're welcome here. Because everybody's welcome.
My soul
Is welcome here.
my soul is
My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here now.
Oh, I'm a soul. Oh, welcome
You
here.
know that
My
you're
soul,
welcome.
your soul is welcome here.
My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Right here, right now.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you this morning.
So I'm Heather Estay, and this is Reverend James Trapp, and just settle on down. Settle down. I know, that song gets everybody all revved up, right?
If you weren't awake before, you're awake now.
And it lets you know that it's really Sunday. So it's our privilege and pleasure to greet you all in the name of all that is sacred, all that is holy, all that is good and beautiful, and in the warm and loving spirit of this community, Spiritual Life Center. And I'm seeing some faces I haven't seen for a while, which is awesome. I'm seeing some faces I've never seen, which is awesome.
Awesomer, huh?
But whoever you are, however you got here, there's going to be something special for you in this service. Either a lyric from a song, part of a meditation, a prayer, part of the talk. You'll find there's going to be something specifically for you. And you're not here by accident, but you're here by
Divine appointment.
and so that we can all hear those things that are specifically for us, if you would now check your cell phones and make sure that they're off for the service. Thank you.
Now there's one distraction out of the way. We can have a direct line to the presence. Let's commune with this presence for a moment. As we affirm that we live and move and have our being in this presence. And this presence contains everything we could ever hope for, want, or desire. Whether it's divine love, health, wholeness, vitality, divine and compelling ideas, imagination, whatever it is, it already exists, and we simply align ourselves with it. And as we align ourselves with this unchanging presence, then we become the vessels, the vehicles to radiate those qualities in every thought, word, and action that we take. And as we do, we become a walking embodiment of the truth of our being, so that when others see us, they can say, and we can say, I reflect that which has sent me, the presence of pure spirit. So we affirm and know that it's a good day because we're in it. And this is the day, the great law of life the Lord has made, and we're grateful. And we know that as we are grateful, we attract more of that what we're grateful for in our life. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
All right. And as we do each week, we affirm the 5 basic unity principles, knowing that we don't have rigid doctrines or dogmas, but we do have principles that we believe in. And if someone asks, what does unity believe in? Well, we can say these principles as a starting point. So let's say them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experience. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God. We must take action. We must take action.
We must take action. So the Wow Wednesday program this week is going to be one of our Talk the Walk series. And what that's about, it's learning about people within this congregation and their stories, because we have some amazing, fascinating people here, and they've had wonderful journeys. So this will be one of those, and this will be with Jenny Thomas, who, when she was a really young girl, she got tapped on the shoulder by a shaman, and she was told that she was a two-souled healer. Now, I'm sure most of you would have understood what that meant exactly, but Jenny didn't. So she went through a long journey to find out what her healing path was going to be. So she'll be talking about it, and we'll have salad at 6 and the program at 7.
All righty. Are you going to do this?
I am going to do this.
Go right ahead.
So Faith in Action is coming up. And we're now, how many people have been involved in Faith in Action? Yeah, a lot of us. And some of you may not know what it is. So let me explain. It's when we take a specific book. This year, it's Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. We all study it together over several weeks, and we talk about it during Sundays. So it brings our consciousness together. It's awesome. So right now, what we're signing up for are facilitators and home hosts. Now, if you think you aren't qualified, if you're breathing, you're qualified.
All righty.
Seriously, it's not a difficult job. I always tell people I prefer to be a facilitator so I don't have to vacuum. But then somebody explains you just have to vacuum one room, and people bring treats during the little things, so you get to keep the treats. So, up to you. But go ahead and go online. There's an insert in your bulletin that'll tell you about it. But please consider, if you thought about joining a group, please consider hosting or facilitating a group.
Yep, it's a good way to connect with people in a very deep way.
And we're also very excited, some of us, to announce that we are live streaming both services now on Facebook. Woohoo! So we're making progress, but all that means to us is that you need to be photographable when you show up. No, it just means
Just look good.
Just don't do rude things. No, I'm just kidding. So let friends and people know that that's available to them.
And just to remind you that the Mystic Cafe, Kohaku, and Edo Ensemble is sold out. We're going way ahead of time. I think it was taking place in September, so we're way ahead of schedule. But however, you can put your name on the wait list, and you can see our friendly people at the hub, formerly known as the cashier's table, in the courtyard. So if you want to get on the wait list, just go out there, and they'll make sure that happens for you.
And now, so you're not late for our next big event, I want you to save the date for our Light the World Gala 2019. The date will be October 11th, so put it on your calendars. We can't let you buy tickets quite yet, but it's a wonderful event. If you haven't been there, it's we've got a great reception and a gourmet dinner, and then there's music, and there's a live auction, and you get the chance to really know people that you bump into on Sundays. So please put that on your calendars. Oh, still my turn.
Yep.
Okay. So also, I'd like to introduce some very special people. Not that we all aren't special, but these people get to stand up and be special. I'd like to, our ambassadors, our board of trustees, and our prayer chaplains. If you'd all please stand. Thank you. So our ambassadors are those very cheerful people who can help you connect. They've got the rainbow ribbons on. They know things about this community, and if you're new or not so new, but just want other ways to get me, and they make sure that our community stays sustainable for the future. So if you have any questions for the board, check with the people with the purple ribbons. And then last but never least are our chaplains. And these wonderful people have dedicated at least a year of their lives to holding this community in sacred space and holding each of us individually in sacred space. They are awesome prayers. Whether you want a prayer for a challenge or something you're excited about or just, I want to pray, they'll be out in the courtyard and they'd love to pray with you. So please see them out there.
First timers?
Still me?
Still you. You're
Okay,
on a roll this morning.
Let me just tell you, if you're here for the first time, in a minute we're going to ask you to raise your hand. So be thinking about which hand you want to be raising. But don't stress. First, before then, we really want you to know that there are great ways to get connected in this community. First of all, there's just your bulletin. We've got a lot of information in your bulletin, so take that with you. Also, if you go to slcworld.org, we've got information about events and different ministries we have that you can connect into. But we also have a card that you can fill out, and you can check off things that you're interested in, and you can either drop it in the offering basket, or if you're smart, you can take it out to the courtyard to the welcome table, because they'll give you a gift for it. So
If anyone's here for the very first time, just any first time, just to keep your hand like nice and high.
Good.
We have a number of
Good hand.
ushers and greeters,
They are rushing to
Yeah.
your side.
and we're giving you that card that Heather mentioned to you, as well as a purple ribbon. And we invite you to wear that on the side where your heart is, and you can get that special Spiritual Life Center greeting. And we appreciate your presence. There's someone up here, kind of
I know,
on
she's
my
getting
right,
a
your
cramp
left.
in her arms.
She's got
You're
her
doing
arm
so
up.
well.
You know,
You're doing so well.
Her-
There's an usher rushing to your side.
She's coming right there. She's right
Rushing.
there.
Here she is. Oh,
Okay,
she's coming back for you.
We're not going to forget you.
We'll track you. We'll track you. No,
All
you're,
right.
you're very welcome.
Yes, we appreciate your presence and everyone else that is here this morning. And as that person is coming back to give that one and special gift to our first timer, we invite you to turn to your neighbors or friends and say, "You are marvelous and glad you are here,"
You're marvelous.
as well as our first timers.
And we invite you to stay standing, and please join us in singing our group song, God is My Source, by Karen Drucker.
Yeah. Well, God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need.
Oh, give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Come on. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
I said, God is my source.
God is my source.
God is my power.
God is my power.
God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks
So I give thanks
for all my blessings.
for all my blessings.
God gives me everything
I need. God is my
God
source.
is my source.
God is my power.
God is my power.
God gives me
God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything.
God gives me everything I need.
God gives me everything.
God gives me everything I need.
God gives me everything God gives me everything I need.
Please be seated.
So it's lovely to see so many hands up, new people here today. So I want to just give you a little introduction of this next thing we're going to do here. We've been working on something called the Q process. And as a community, we got together, as well as individually, we've been working on this. And we determined, located, and acknowledged some of our trigger points that keep us from living with nothing and no one against us. And so we have been speaking those together, as well as all of the magnificent things that we affirm we have come here to be. So let's do that together. Please have compassion for us when we are being not enough, distrusting, grieving, blaming, powerless, and fearful, because this is who we've come to be. Inspired, in integrity, joy-filled, compassionate, unstoppable, generous, and transformational. And now we will unfold all of those beautiful qualities into our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with merging wisdom. We cultivate spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And now we will sing Showers of Grace.
Showers of grace, endless ocean of joy, pour into you, into me. Washed in pure love, the sacred heart reveals, humbly to serve the supreme. As a bird sings, as the grass grows, as a dewdrop clings, all of nature knows. Showers of grace, endless ocean of joy, pour into you, into me. Washed in pure love, the sacred heart reveals, humbly to serve the supreme. As a bird sings, as the grass grows, as a dewdrop clings, all of nature knows. Showers of grace, endless ocean of joy, pour into you, into me. Washed in pure love, the sacred heart reveals, humbly to serve the
As you settle into your chair, let your hands rest gently in your lap and focus on your breathing. Feel your chest rise and fall. And notice that as you simply do breathe naturally, you begin to feel lighter and lighter. as you drift into a light daydream. You are lying on a soft green grass, looking up at the sky, seeing the shapes of the clouds. You begin to play that game of finding meaning in them. That one looks like an elephant. Oh, that one looks like an umbrella. Oh, that one looks like an angel. And just as you name it, the angel cloud slowly descends and sets down on the grass a few feet away. And it resolves into a real angel. Another cloud descends and resolves into an angel. Then comes another and another, each one emitting its own special color until a rainbow of 7 angels stands facing you. The red angel steps forward and says, I am your angel of vitality and enthusiasm. This red pearl carries my frequency. Wear it with love. The angel slips the pearl onto a golden cord and hands it to the orange angel, who says, I am your angel of creativity and playfulness. This orange pearl carries my frequency. Wear it with ease and grace. The angel slips the pearl onto the golden cord and hands it to the yellow angel, who says, I am your angel of clarity and wisdom. This pearl carries my frequency. Wear it, knowing truth. And the yellow angel slips the pearl onto the golden cord and hands it to the green angel, who says, I am your angel of balance, of health and wealth. This green pearl carries my frequency. Wear it close to your heart. The angel slips the pearl onto the golden cord and hands it to the blue angel, who says, I am your angel of spiritual gifts. This blue pearl carries my frequency. Wearing it brings out your highest abilities. The angel slips the pearl onto the golden cord and hands it to the indigo angel, who says, I am your angel of intuition and self-knowing. This indigo pearl carries my frequency. Wear it for guidance and support. The angel slips the pearl onto the golden cord and hands it to the violet angel, who says, I am your angel of spiritual mastery. This violet pearl carries my frequency. The longer you wear it, the more your consciousness will expand. The angel slips the pearl onto the golden cord and ties the ends together. Together, the angels approach you, and together they slip the string of pearls over your head. As they form a circle around you, their auras move around you in a dance of color. You are immersed in this color. every cell in your body is activated as you commune with and become attuned to these holy attributes. And you revel in this heightened energy in the silence. As you take a deep breath, the rainbow of pearls melts into your body and becomes one with you. And you begin to return to this time and this place as you receive this blessing. Oh, my beloved, you carry within you the frequency of anything you may need or desire in your world. When you attune to the frequency of your desire, it cannot help but to manifest. Know your inner gifts. They are your true wealth because they are never, ever not here. Remember this always.
Thank you, Ann, and thank you, Paula. Glad to have you back. She's been away in Zambia. We thank all the members of our Soul Light Connection, and thank all of you for being here this morning. One thing we absolutely seek to remind ourselves, no matter what we're going through or growing through in life, is God is good. And all the time. Now, that may smack against the facts of life as we experience it from time to time. But what I also remember is that when we talk that God is good all the time, we're not talking about things are good when they're not going to our liking, because there are always going to be ups and downs in life experiences. People are going to pass before their time. All kinds of seeming tragedies may seemingly happen in our world. When we say that God is good, we're talking about there's a presence that is changeless. And when we align with that presence, then we begin to get in tune with this changeless, loving energy that is always around us. I say that because last Saturday, that's Friday and Saturday, there were 2 shootings that took place in San Antonio and Dayton, Ohio. And 31 people, I believe, died. Several more were injured. And if you have any sense of compassion, any sense of connection to our humanity, you cannot help but feel saddened. You cannot help but feel disturbed, maybe even outraged by the whole thing. And I remember in 2012 when the 5 and 6-year-olds in Sandy Hook, Connecticut were killed, and several staffers as well. And we knew that something was going to happen in the outer to attempt to prevent that. In this recent event, a lot of people have begun to take action to move to another level to hopefully those things will not happen again. And I mentioned earlier that I haven't read something that Heather had written in Facebook about how she was writing letters to all the senators and so forth to do something. And I was asking myself, because other people have asked the same question, why is this happening again? Not only most recently, but in Sandy Hook, in Charleston, South Carolina, a couple years ago, the high school in Florida in Parkland, and the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Las Vegas, a while back. It's more than I can't even remember them all. And I think in addition to taking any outer action to change laws, that we really need to get to the spiritual solution. That we must move from what I call a kind of a sociopathic, that I picked this up from another individual, sociopathic economic system to a much more enlightened spiritual economic system. And a spiritual sociopathic system is one that is devoid of compassion, and one pursues profit for profit's sake, regardless of the human cost. Where corporations pursue the bottom line without a sense of morality and our interconnectedness with each other. So in order for us to address lasting solutions, there has to be a transformation of the individuals who are in charge of all that is going on, so that we do not need to be told what to do. They know that there are opportunities that we should not do things even though we can do them, including selling things that may lead to mass destructions as took place. That's why I believe that all solutions are spiritual. And we do the things on the outer to make change, but the transformation has to happen within the individuals who are weaving themselves into our society, so we know that they will do the right thing because they're in alignment with their higher self as to what makes the difference. I hadn't intended to rant like this, but it had been on my mind. It really had been disturbing me in a way I don't know, it disturbed me in a while. And I was also talking today about spiritual wealth. Spiritual wealth. And we talk about spiritual wealth, what we're talking about is a sense of wholeness, a sense of dynamic well-being, a sense of a balanced life that allows for the love of God to flow through each and every one of us. And of course, it includes health and vibration of enthusiasm and, material things, money circulating, and ideal work, play in our life, right relationships, divine right action. All of that is included in spiritual wealth. So the question we have of our topic of today, spiritual wealth, can you handle it? And I'm really talking about, can we handle more energy moving through us? Can we really handle a higher octave of the frequency of the livingness and the energy of spirit that is always here without us sputtering or cracking or breaking down? You know, if a coil cannot carry the energy that's being moved through it, it will short circuit, it will falter, it will break. So oftentimes we may be praying to be more, or praying for more, I should say, but not quite the carrier of this current of energy that we have to carry in order to be that more. And so we may begin to break down, and the good may come into our life, and we may find ourselves running away from it or pushing it away. It kind of reminded me of the first time some person had come to spiritual community for the very first time. And at the end of the service, they said, those people are weird. They're too darn happy. They're joyous. I can't come back here anymore. That vibration is too high. I can't deal with it. So when we say wealth, spiritual wealth, can you handle it? We have to ask a question. Are we really ready to develop a sacred blisscipline? That I've used that word from time to time. Blisscipline of the heart, that allows us to carry more bliss in our life. It means that we're going to break away from sometimes the common thoughts and mundane thinking and maybe even the mediocre ways that sometimes the world shows up. That means that we have to develop the discipline that allows us to stay in that spiritual faith field, that spiritual atmosphere, even when we may not feel like we want to, regardless of what the circumstances may be. And we may ask, what does that mean? I mean, whenever we're in any kind of training, whether it's being a good musician or being a wonderful athlete or a great writer, there's a particular form that they engage in when circumstances are not to their liking. And they can always revert to the form. When the athlete is absolutely tired and knows how to go back to the form, to move their arms in the right way, to lift their legs, even when their flesh is willing, where they're tired as they can be. They know the form to go back to. A musician sometimes may forget a little bit and knows how to go back to their basic training in order to remind him or her as to what they should be doing in that moment. Because it came into a lot of practice where it becomes part of who they are. And remember, there was a wonderful piano player, musician, kind of like Paula. I mentioned that earlier. She's awesome. We have to really appreciate, the level of skill and talent and consciousness that she brings to the community. Because most of the time we just take it for granted. Oh, yes, Paula, she's doing her thing. But not everybody could do that. I know I can. Anyway, there's a gentleman that I knew who was of similar skill set. And I asked him, how did he get that good? How much did you practice? And he said something like 14 hours. And in my mind, I said, 14 hours a week? He said like 12 hours. He said, 12 hours a week? Yeah, it's not too bad. He said, no, I used to practice 12 hours a day to get to the level that he was as an expert. And I realized that I ain't doing nothing. I'm trying to get in shape. I'm using a trainer now to try to get me in shape. I got a long way to go. But the whole way is that we need to develop certain blissciplines that allows us to get back into the form when things are kind of getting out of alignment, so we realize our oneness with God. So I'm going to list some blissciplines that we can go through to help us do that. And the first blisscipline is to redefine certain things in our life so that have a particular meaning for us. So that when we use certain words and phrases, they key us to think in a certain way that may be different than how we have done so in the past. And one of those words is need. Some people talk about they need something. I need a certain type of mobility or certain kind of work or a certain place to live, or I need that mate. I need this, I need this, I need this. And whenever we use those words, we're saying, well, there's something outside of me that I do not have. I need to get that in order to make me happy. And they may say that over and over again, but what they're echoing, what they're saying, there's something that is lacking within me. And even if they were able to get it with some sort of hocus pocus, some kind of mental manipulation, to get that particular form or what they think they need in life, they still would not have it in their awareness. They still would not have it in their consciousness, and eventually they would lose it. So sometimes we get a lot of stuff. We just have a lot more clutter in our already cluttered life. You know, we talk a lot about the law of attraction. And the law of attraction really is that we don't attract what we think we want. We attract who we are. Who are we? So we want to redefine need. And need means an invitation from the deepest part of our soul to be more, to reveal more in our life. So when we talk about we need something, there's our soul saying and giving us an invitation to be more in expression. It means there's a potential in us that has not been actualized, that has not been brought out. So our soul is saying there's more in you to be expressed. You know, I was just thinking about that, sometimes we have these thoughts actually I don't say it's a thought, it's a reality. We just don't know when it's going to happen. We're going to run out of oil, and what are we going to do when we don't have enough oil for cars and all the stuff that we need? But then you realize that, somebody came up, we can have electric cars. I was with Karen Richmond, had a new, what's the name of that car? Tesla. And she was showing me around and how it works. It was so simple and clean and quiet. I didn't even know it was on. But anyway, when we think we need something, what that means is that there's something more from us to express that's not there yet. And I was thinking the other day that, when we have so many cars and so many people, we're not going to have enough roads to keep all the cars on. But then I started remembering an article I read about the Japanese having prototypes for flying cars. And it brought me back to the Jetsons. I don't know if you remember the Jetsons. Some of you may have watched the Jetsons. And I was thinking about the theme song from the Jetsons. Meet George Jetson, his boy Elroy, his daughter Judy, Jane, his wife. I don't know if you all remember. I used to watch the Jetsons all the time. So the whole idea that the first discipline is redefine need to mean an opportunity that has not been expressed, that can be expressed, that is within us. And then we have discipline number 2. And we talk about this all the time. It's part of any spiritual practice. We must begin with the consciousness and the awareness of appreciation and thanksgiving for everything we already have. Oftentimes, human beings, they look at what they do not have and focus their attention on that. But really, what we need to do is focus on what we do have, and we don't want to call it little. There's no little or large in the mind of God in the spirit. Because some people say, I got this little old thing in my life, this little old that, this and so forth. No, whenever we define it like that, we make it small in our own life. So we don't want to stay in the sense of little, but appreciate and give thanksgiving for all that is already here. I'm going to be going back to, I usually accompany my son when he goes back to the college on the East Coast to Howard. And I stayed with my sister for a few days. And I just can't believe that he's going to his junior year now. Because I still remember, in my mind, I'm just leaving the hospital and stuff, And now he's like, he's up here, I'm looking up to him. And I remember a number of years ago when he was in junior high school, I think it was his freshman year in high school. And they had these back-to-school nights. And the particular teacher there was talking about math, because she was the math teacher. She taught geometry, I believe. And she said, I realized that some of the students, maybe some of your kids, don't think they are good at math. I never ever hear people say that, I just can't do math. I do not have the math gene. I can't figure it out. And she wanted to explain to all of us that she's able to give her students a sense of feeling okay about their ability to do math, regardless of what their skill level may be. And what she did, she gave us an analogy. She said, everyone is good at some things and not others. Some students are really good at math. Some are really good at music or English or art and so forth. And she said that each subject is like a rubber band in the brain, in our mind. Some rubber bands are large and for areas in which they're good at. If they're really good at it, the rubber band is really big. And some areas, the rubber band is kind of small, in areas that they don't think they're good at. And what she went to explain that when a student is praised and acknowledged in an area, the rubber band in that area begins to expand, begins to get bigger. And when the student is put down or criticized for not doing well in that subject area, the rubber band begins to constrict and contract. And so the teacher let all of us know that night that her job is not only to praise students for what they do well, but to also find the positive things they do well in the subject they believe that they are not gifted in. And when she does this, it changes the student's attitude about math from a negative perception to a positive one. And ultimately, a weakness becomes more of a strength. And inevitably, those students who think they're not so good, they do much better. And I thought that was a wonderful power and demonstration of demonstrating appreciation, because whatever we appreciate, whatever we give as a praise to, it begins to increase. It begins to amplify. As someone says, what we appreciate appreciates. It becomes more in our life. So second discipline, practice appreciation, knowing that it increases that in our life. Then the third discipline, to help answer the question, wealth, can you handle it? It's the essential. We must constantly release from our life things that no longer serve us. You know, I did that the other day. I was with my son. We had a garage sale. I had, got rid of a lot of stuff. We still got more. And he told me what you need to do to get rid of the stuff is use this app called Let Go. So, let go. Okay, I said, okay, that's for the next stuff, we got to let go. Because many of us, probably are pack rats. We keep everything, and I speak for myself about that. We have things, and I said to myself, I haven't used this in 17 years, but I'm going to keep it just in case there's an apocalypse, and I need it on that particular occasion. We got drawers and trunks of stuff that I need to get rid of. I remember that I was at another spiritual community, and I don't know if they ever did it here. We used to have what they call Circulation Day. And Circulation Day is that everybody brought in stuff they no longer needed, and people in the community would come by and we just would give it away. And I remember one time that I had a bunch of stuff, some clothes, and I gave it away, and I was walking down the street one day, and I saw a guy he's wearing my shirt. It wasn't my shirt anymore, but I know I was holding on to that shirt for I don't know if you ever have stuff in your closet. It's just in there. You haven't worn it in years, probably will never wear it again, and realize that that's uncirculated energy. And there's an infinite supply of that. And so it represents that uncirculated energy that shows up as stagnation in our minds and thoughts that are swamp-like. So we have to move it. And we can move that by not only doing spring cleaning every year, but all the time, but also emotionally. Emotionally let go of resentment. Emotionally let go of animosity or forgiveness or doubt or fear or worry, because that's an energy field that's blocking us from seeing the good that is always around us. So discipline number 3 is to let go of what we no longer need. And then fourth discipline is to be a good custodian, a good steward of what we already have, kind of in alignment with the appreciation. But that also means to fully occupy where we are. Where we may not be we're in our perfect place, we're in our right place. And if we begin to do that to the best that we can, then we'll move to another level. I remember I had mentioned the last week, and I had gotten, my son had gotten a text from, I think, Leslie, saying, congratulating the 32-year anniversary of, I don't know how it was worded, and he asked, well, what is it? What am I talking? What is she talking about? And I'm trying to think, what is she talking about? And then I realized I had told a few weeks ago that this is my 32nd year of sobriety. And so that was August the 10th, which was Saturday. And so she sent that out. And so I remember that around the time I was coming out of a rehab center, I was working in a furniture store. And I was working with some other people, and they were always complaining about the mundane work they had to do, and moving stuff and cleaning stuff and working through all the dust in the different parts of the warehouse. And I remember one day the manager had asked me to go and help rearrange some furniture up in some remote part of the building because they weren't going to have this discount sale of all this furniture. So you had to go up there and dig through all the dust and the spider webs and the cobwebs and the smells and everything. And I said, nobody else wanted to do it. And I said, well, I'll do it. And so I said, I'm just going to do it with gusto. So I went there and we got all the furniture and cleaned it off, polished it off. We didn't just put it in order. Man, we made it look like it was a house sale going on and did a staging for it. And we brought in some potpourri and everything. So it smelled good when we walked in there. And we had been up there for 3 or 4 days, and they had not even seen us until it was over. And the manager was so impressed. Like everyone else was complaining because they weren't getting enough money. They gave me and my partner some more money, 50 cents more an hour. I don't know what it was. But it didn't matter. Gave us some more responsibility simply because we fully occupied where we were. And so part of it is that sometimes you want to give more than you think you're going to get in return. And what happens with that is that, as Ralph Waldo Emerson says, when you do that, you put the universe in your debt. And the universe not wanting to be in your debt has to balance the books. And so it either will one or two things. It will expand the space that you are in, or you will just expand, the space will expand, or you will just expand in a way to move to another level. So this is a principle that you can't outgive the universe. Give more than you're maybe temporarily being compensated for. Because if we hang out in a sick and tired consciousness, we restrict the being of goodness and the availability of all the good that's around us. So we want to give more and ask ourselves, can we handle more energy? You know, when we realize that, we recognize that the space that we are is so precious. This human life is precious. We often overlook that. You know, in Islamic tradition, it talks about the fact that if there are two people and one is a farmer and the other is meditating all the time, that who's going to get into what they call heaven first or expanding good in their life? And they say it's the farmer because they're useful. They're fully utilizing themselves. In the Buddhist teaching, it talks about the fact it's rare to get a human experience. And there's so many spirits that are vying for this particular experience. There's a blessing to be here. So we don't want to get caught up in the belief and say, oh, I need to be in a higher dimension. We're in it right now. Heaven is everywhere. You know, if we can't make this life sacred, we're going to mess up the next dimension. You know, as my mentor once told me, this life must be sacred. Appreciate it. Be a good steward of it. A good custodian. Keep your body well. Treat your body of affairs well. And see that you're already in heaven in this moment. And there's something wonderful about when we do that, when we express more of who we are in this dimension. You know, thinking about school and my own experience, I was thinking and remembering when I was in the 6th grade, I was in a class. And I don't know what happened. I think I left the class to go to the restroom. And then when I came back, they said they nominated me to be the school treasurer. Or I said, nah, you don't even know me that well. You know, I wasn't interested in that kind of stuff. But I was voluntold that I was going to be in this position. And the teacher wouldn't let me out of it, right? And I was a little upset, you know. So after a while, I had to go through the classes throughout the week. And at the end of the week, you had to give a little short speech about why you should be elected. You know, mine said, no one's better than me, vote JT. And I didn't really want to do this stuff. And at the end of the week, you had to give a little talk and you know, like 2 or 3 minutes or something like that. And the next thing I know, I got up and this energy started moving through me, and I began to talk about excellence and what it means to be a great student, what it means to expand and reach and do all this kind of stuff. And everybody was looking at me, all my classmates saying, who are you? And what did you do with Trapp? What'd you do with him? That's not you. And they looked at me, I was like some sort of alien or something. And I was embarrassed, man, because I had gotten bigger than I thought I was at that moment. And all through that day, I was trying to get my agreement back with being mediocre. I was like everybody else, you know. I was trying to get in trouble and everything, get detention, you know, hang out with the bad people so they wouldn't think that I was different. And I didn't put myself in that kind of position again until I was maybe in high school, 10th, 11th grade. And somehow I was on this radio program, and I was one of the high school guests, and the mic came to me, and bam, I started talking again. I didn't know what had happened to me. Like, wow. Of course, I didn't really do any stuff like that till I made my public, declaration to become a minister. The whole idea that we've all come here to do something and to be something. We came here by choice. It's not by accident. Anyway, I'm just going to leave this last spiritual wealth handling tip. And I learned this from a wise teacher that I had, a spiritual teacher. And he's talking about if you want to create more in your life and attract more in your life, if you want to handle more of this bliss, more of this cosmic energy, that whenever we set a goal or a vision, it has to be uplifting so we feel the energy of it. Sometimes we set a goal and the wording and the label they use is, it doesn't have sizzle. It doesn't have sexy. We want to be too sexy for our shirt, as that song used to go. Someone says, they wake up and say, I want to lose some weight. All right. But the way that's stated, it's not uplifting. It's not expansive. It doesn't handle the unlimited. It doesn't handle the cosmic energy of God. It focuses on the negative or the deficient driven part of us, that we need to lose something. No, we want to ask, what do we want to gain? So why don't we have a goal that's attractive to us again? That's not just about a thing that we want to have checked off our checklist. It has to be something that's compelling and important to us, that it causes our cells in our body to want to dance every time we think of it. It has to be an uplifting goal. It's something like, I'm going to feel so fit and vibrant that literally my skin and my aura is going to shine to people. Or I'm going to make myself so beautiful that I feel not only who I am, but I show up in this world and it's just going to attract people. They're just going to be blown away. They're going to see how magnificent I really am. It's a whole lot more than I just want to lose 5 pounds. No, what is uplifting? What will fire you up so that you can be that vessel that can handle the unlimited wealth of this magnificent universe? We want to word it and phrase it and put it in a way that's so positive, so compelling that we can't wait to get up in the morning to start our day. So yeah. So we want to look at that goal, that vision in our life, and say, you go, girl. We look in that mirror and say, yeah, you go forth and multiply the all good, because it's so attractive to you. It's so fun to be you. It's important and meaningful, and you're aligned with the dream of your heart. We all have it. And you'll get so much more when you begin to go into action. And then that little thing that we think we won't have is just blown away because we're connected to something bigger that represents who we are. So we want to make it uplifting. We want to make it positive. We want to label it and word it in a way that is not focused on loss, but on what we can gain that's spectacular. Not how hard it will be, but how good we're going to become. Not, oh my gosh, if I do it, it might not work out well. Rather, we want to see it in such a way that when it happens, it turns out to be unbelievably good. And you will attract the wealth of this magnificent universe. So I ask the question, spiritual wealth, can you handle it? Are you ready? Are you ready? Go forth and multiply the all good. Peace and blessings to you. And next week, as I'm away with my son in D.C., Reverend Deborah is going to be speaking on the knowing heart. And she, not just the knowing, but the all-knowing heart. And she does have that all-knowing heart connectedness, so she's going to help us do that as well. So as everyone's coming forward, I invite you to take your gift, your tithe, your offering. And if you've given it any other way, by mail or automatically, which we always encourage folks to do because it really helps things become easier for us. I mean, predict how we're going to be able to budget things. But whatever you're giving, know that you're giving in the spirit of the unlimited good that's around us. And following this principle that whatever we give comes back to us in so many different ways. And ways we never imagined. So we give without condition, but you understand that the condition that we get back is magnificent. So with that awareness, let's join in consciousness and say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Money can't buy it, baby. Sex can't buy it, baby. Drugs can't buy it, baby. You can't buy it, baby. I believe that love alone might do these things for you. I believe in love alone, yeah, yeah. Take the power to set you free. Kick down the door and throw away the key. Give up your needs, your poison seeds. Find yourself elected to a different kind of creed. I believe that love alone might do these things for you. I believe that love alone might do these things for you. I believe in the power of creation. I believe in the good vibration. I believe in love alone, yeah, yeah. Oh, somebody tell me what it's coming to. Might take forever till we watch these dreams come true. All the money in the world won't buy you peace of mind. You can have it all, but you still won't be satisfied. Money can't buy it, baby. Sex can't buy it, ooh, my baby. Drugs can't buy it, oh, little baby. You can't buy it, oh, now, baby, now. Hear this, pay attention to me, 'cause I'm a rich white girl and it's plain to see. I got every kind of thing that the money can buy. Let me tell you all about it, let me amplify. I've got diamonds, you heard about those. I got so many that I can't close my safe at night. In the dark, lying awake in a sick dream. I believe that love alone might do these things for you. I believe that love alone might do these things for you. I believe in the power of creation. I believe in the good vibration. I believe in love alone, yeah, yeah. Didn't I say that money can't buy it?
the one and only Ann Roach, Paula Mandela, Soul Light Connection. Money can't buy it. Well, we bless the tithes and offerings, knowing we're going to bless the givers and receivers at all levels of their being as we go forth, accepting the spiritual wealth that the universe has for each and every one of us, because we deserve it as children of God. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Let's join together and sing our peace song. Now let us join together.